Good morning and welcome to the weekend edition of Community Focus. Back here on 97.1 QMG, and thank you as well for listening on our sister station, 1510 Big Wheel Gospel. So many great organizations and people with those organizations doing some great things in our community. And I, Renee Vaughn, am looking forward to another member of our Community Focus family joining us as one local nonprofit is reaching out to help another with an annual food drive as Black Women Empowered is holding its second annual food drive. Before we give you all the particulars, family, let me welcome to Community Focus. She's a newbie, but only temporary. You know her throughout the community as the Princess of Poetry, but I have just been confirmed before the start of the show that we can just say and call you Princess. Princess, good morning.
Good morning.
So glad to have you here on the show, and we got some good stuff to talk about here on Community Focus.
Yes, we do.
Absolutely, and very excited that this is actually the second annual food drive with Black Women Empowered, and this is a nonprofit organization that really stays community involved. You're collecting items to actually benefit the Servant House.
Yes, we are.
Which is a transitional housing program that serves 18 men, 40 and older, in the community. And also what Black Women Empowered is doing, an organization that actually has been around, Princess. It was started in October of 2011. It is a safe haven that provides as well housing and services for homeless female veterans and their children. And what a great combination between the two organizations. How did you become affiliated with what we're talking about as far as this annual food drive?
I became a member of Black Women Empowered last year, and I actually met Miss Jackie face to face and just fell in love with her. We are like sisters, and I performed for her at the launch for the 1-year anniversary.
Excellent.
And now I get the pleasure of representing Black Women Empowered everywhere I go.
And thank you for being a representative here on the weekend edition of Community Focus. And Princess, we are talking about Miss Jacqueline King, who is the president.
Yes.
And CEO of this nonprofit organization. And Jackie, hopefully you're listening. We just wanted to give you a shout out this morning. We understand that you are still recuperating, and Princess, you have informed me she's doing well.
Yes, she is doing marvelous.
Excellent. So, my dear, just continue to get better, continue to get strong, and looking forward to the next opportunity that we can get you on the show. But, Princess, we want to say that the food drive is actually ongoing and continues until the end of February.
Yes.
And where, as you just mentioned, the last couple of years, Black Women Empowered, or BWE, sometimes we shorten the names of organizations, but they have been, all of you affiliated actually, have been dedicated to giving back to the community. And as a foundation of faith, you provide compassion in an indifferent society, and again, partnering with the Servant Center of Greensboro to feed residents, especially those of disabled veterans. And we want to add that all the proceeds from the event will go directly to the Servant Center Food Bank. So still time actually to make a donation.
Yes.
Whether it be monetary and in other forms, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. But I also wanted to get back and talk about the Servant House a little bit, that this is a 21-bed facility. It provides services to homeless and disabled people who can use the help, especially now. And you have so many wonderful volunteers, such as yourself.
Oh, yes.
What's it like to be a part of Black Women Empowered, and again, mentioning Jackie and working with some of the other members of the organization?
It is a very fulfilling experience. If you love to help people and you are a woman of purpose, this is the organization for you. We are so excited about all the different projects that we get involved in. And it is very empowering to give back and to assist people in the community and loved ones that you know who may have a need.
Absolutely. And that's a great transition, Princess, because BWE celebrated the 1-year anniversary, as you just talked about, last October, with a luncheon that was actually held at Wells Memorial Church of God in Christ. And some of the accomplishments that Black Women Empowered have had, you have conducted domestic violence workshops.
Yes.
You empower, or actually you have an empowering and pampering weekend. Let's talk about that a little bit, because anytime we can be pampered and empowered, at the same time. That's got to be a great
It
experience.
is. There's nothing more beautiful than women coming together, encouraging one another,
Absolutely.
and enjoying the pleasantries of being pampered. It's a very powerful experience, and it leaves you feeling so good on the inside and the outside.
Exactly. And that's one of the great things, Princess, that we can say about Black Women Empowered is that you have events that really take place year round. You just don't have a special occasion. You just see the need, as you mentioned, within the community, and you try to reach out to those in our community through the various services that you provide.
Yes.
Absolutely. So to add to the empowering and pampering weekend, you've conducted a women's self-defense class. Of course, we have the annual food drive that we're talking about, but you have what's also referred to as an anniversary and awards luncheon, where 5 awards are given for community service, domestic violence, and membership.
Yes.
Excellent. We add to that subgroups. You have addressed issues involving women's health. You even have a prayer line, and I like this too, a fitness pledge,
Yes.
where that is one of my, shall I say, Princess, my favorite topics of discussion, because anytime that we can talk about the importance of taking better care of ourselves, I like having that conversation. So kudos to BWE
Yay.
for having that. You also have prayer, devotion, and requests, and just a whole lot more because this list just continues to expand.
It does. BWE has such an online presence. We offer a variety of topics that women can go and visit our site on Facebook and just receive whatever inspiration and information that is beneficial to their lives.
Absolutely. And a part of, again, while you're having the second annual food drive, and realizing that even during the holiday season, the demands that are placed on organizations can be great and to a large degree can be overwhelming. And because of the unemployment in our areas and in other ways in which you're facilitating the efforts to replenish local area food banks, that's what this food drive is all about, not only feeding the veterans, but really helping and not wanting to turn away anyone
Right.
who is in need in the community. So again, the drive running, it did through the entire month of January, and we're continuing to do so in the month of February. We want to give information as to where the annual food drive will be taking place, and especially, Princess, some of the drop-off sites and times, and especially some of the items that are going to be greatly needed for the drive, such as canned fruits and vegetables. You're looking for box meals such as hamburger helper, pastaroni, any canned meats or tuna, peanut butter and jelly, canned soup, and even hot and cold cereals. So basically items that are easy to pack
Yes.
or to ship. A lot of times we really, and this is not to say that the item is not greatly appreciated, but a lot of times when you're talking with items that contain glass, we know sometimes that can be a problem in the shipping process. So we really want to look for items that are very, for lack of a better word, easier to ship.
Right.
And of course, we don't place an amount or the supply. It's whatever a person can donate
That's right.
will be greatly, greatly appreciated. And that's just the beginning, because, Princess, I want to take a break and come back and really get into more detail on both the nonprofits teaming up to help feed the hungry. So again, that is Black Women Empowered, and you are helping once again and teaming up with the Servant Center. And I want to share a little more information about that organization as well. But just to take this time, Princess, to thank you, to welcome you to the Community Focus family officially.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. And family, you are already official. You tune in every weekday morning here to listen to Community Focus. And we thank you so much for taking the time on your Saturday and Sunday to hear about good organizations such as Black Women Empowered and the Servant Center that are doing good things in our community. And you can hear Community Focus. This is a programming note before we go to break. You can hear it on 97.1 QMG Saturday and Sunday mornings beginning at 6 a.m. And we get the word out to you as well on our sister station. We do that as well Saturday and Sunday mornings. The time's a little bit different. On EAL, it begins at 7:30. But much more, the weekend edition of Community Focus coming up here on 97.1 QMG and our sister station, 1510 Big Wheel Gospel. And once again, it is the weekend edition of Community Focus on 97.1 QMG, along with our sister station, 1510 Big Wheel Gospel. Renee Vaughn, I appreciate your company, and the company of Princess, who is doing a fine job, thank you, my dear, of representing Black Women Empowered Safe Haven, founded by President and CEO Jacqueline King for the purpose of providing housing, services, job training, and placement for homeless female veterans and their children. And that is something, Princess, we will talk about throughout the course of the show as we're back for the second half of Community Focus. But we're actually focusing as well on the second annual food drive. And you're teaming up with the Servant Center, which is a place of hope and healing. They're actually at 1312 Lexington Avenue in Greensboro. You can reach them at 336-275-8585. Monetary donations also made directly at their website, which is theservantcenter.org, as it was established in 1991. And again, the program now serving homeless veterans with disabilities. And Princess, when we look at the number of people that the Servant Center serves, which is between 450 and 600 people each month, and includes a monthly food bag delivery program to low-income elderly, a food grocery distribution on low-income individuals as families, as well as an international food pantry for those not yet documented as legal immigrants. So really a lot of great reasons why the two organizations are coming together for the annual food drive, which, by the way, if you did not hear or were not a part of the first half of Community Focus, that's okay, family. That's why we come back with the second half of the show, because, Princess, we take this opportunity to recap. And that's what I wanted to do about your second annual food drive, BWE Safe Haven, having this event, and we'll continue through the month of February. And just before the break, we were touching on some of the items that we're asking members of our Community Focus family who want to help and can help. Some of those items that can be donated, again, are canned fruits and vegetables, boxed meals such as hamburger helper, pastaroni, canned meats and tuna, peanut butter and jelly, canned soup, and hot and cold cereal. We want to add to that as well that household supplies and personal care items can be donated as well. And we're talking soap, deodorant, shampoo, and toilet paper. And Princess, we want to add, and this is the key part in contributing to the second annual food drive, let's talk about some of the drop-off sites and times, if you can do some of that for me.
Gladly. One of the places that you can visit in Greensboro is the Sweet Shop at 631 South Elm Street, Suite A. And just ask for Miss Elaine or any of the staff there and tell them you are dropping off donations for the BWE food drive.
Excellent.
You can also visit Excellent Styles, which is located on 2832 Randleman Road in Greensboro. And just ask for Miss Sonia Wiley. She's the stylist there, and she will gladly accept your donations. And for Given Life Ministries, 2410 South Elm Eugene Street. You can drop off donations there between 5 and 6:30 p.m. on Monday, 5:30 to 7 a.m. and 6 to 9 p.m. on Thursday, noon to 3 p.m. on Saturday, and noon to 4 p.m. on Sunday.
Excellent job, Princess. And in addition to the food items and personal care items that are needed, we want to add that any monetary donations that can be made will be greatly appreciated. And in fact, family, we want to add that for every dollar donated, the Servant Center can provide, I do believe, hot meals to some of our area residents. Excellent job. Again, having an opportunity to work with BWE, and I think this is a great transition to talk about, and what has officially, Princess, been launched, is that you have an online journal. Definitely want to talk about that and invite members of our Community Focus family that they can visit on the World Wide Web at blackwomenempoweredjournal.com. And I do believe, my dear, that you have a blog. You're blogging there as well.
Yes.
How exciting is that for you?
It is amazing. I love to write empowering articles for women and just people in general. Mm-hmm. But doing it for BWE adds more purpose to my gift, and it allows me to express what I'm given and to share information that is going to benefit others.
Absolutely. And speaking of that gift, Princess, you being the princess of poetry, where did your love for the spoken word come about for you?
That started a very long time ago.
Way back in the day.
I'm
Not too far back.
Well, I'm 43 now, and I started writing poetry when I was about 7, 8 years old, just as a hobby. And in the last 5 years, I've started doing it professionally.
Excellent. Well, let me just say, first of all, my dear, you look fabulous at 43. Secondly, we are the same age. How wonderful is that?
I love it.
I love it too, because we just seem to get better with age, and we take care of ourselves, and it's really important. So congratulations to you, and it's really a benefit and a treat for us as members of the community who have a chance to see you in person, to hear your poetry, and to really be encouraged by a lot of the words that you share.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
BWE gives all of the ladies who are a part of the online journal an opportunity to express themselves. That journal is like a newspaper for women. We have Pastor Pia Hedden, who is the inspirational piece to it. We have other health articles. It is full of wonderful information. I encourage everyone to take time to go and visit it and see what other gifts are out there.
Oh, absolutely. And perhaps even untapping some other gifts from individuals when they have a chance to check out the online journal. So again, ladies, we really encourage you to visit blackwomenempoweredjournal.com with the launch of the online journal with BWE. And Princess, there are other great things that take place as well. BWE offers free entrepreneurial webinars.
Yes, we do.
As well. And just to think about all of the entrepreneurs that are just in this area alone.
Yes.
There are a lot of women who are starting or trying to launch up and coming businesses. So great an opportunity to take care of that. And free. I think a lot of us like free. So that helps as well. Let's talk about as well a new group that is formed for young women between the ages of 17 to 30. What is that about?
Well, BWE has a Facebook presence of over 1,700.
That's huge, and no doubt those numbers are going to keep growing.
Absolutely. And what we have done is most recently on this week started a part of that online presence for a younger age demographic. A lot of the women are divided up into two groups, 31 and over and then 30 and under. But we want to make sure that those who are teenagers, those who are coming up in adolescence, also have the opportunity to visit BWE and benefit from all the powerful information that is there.
Excellent. And again, I wanted to just kind of re-emphasize, too, that in addition to that, you have a website design, you've got the YouTube advertising videos, you have financial and tax services. How apropos as we're in the middle of a tax season. And even a 501(c) and grant writing, a new business startup. So any of this, ladies, we encourage if you want to be a part of the online groups, again, 31 and over, they can visit either your Facebook page. They can go to facebook.com/groups/Black Women Empowered. And for young ladies 30 and under, likely the same, facebook.com/groups. And you have a series of numbers here.
If they go to the main page, which is facebook.com/groups/Black Women Empowered, there's a tab there for the different categories. Excellent. And they can visit and see the information on the health topics, their age demographic, and how to get to the online journal.
That's fantastic, because you really are providing something for everyone, from young ladies to mature sisters.
Yes.
So I really like that. And I like the company family. This is the weekend edition of Community Focus here on 97.1 QMG, as well as our sister station, 1510 Big Well Gospel. Joining me from Black Women Empowered is Princess. And Princess, again, I wanted to talk about Black Women Empowered Safe Haven actually started last March. So almost coming upon a one-year anniversary.
Yes.
Congratulations. And again, the reason and purpose for the organization: to provide housing and services for homeless female veterans and their children. The online Christian group started in October of 2011. And really for Jacqueline and King, who's the president and CEO, Princess, we really just want to emphasize her seeing that need for not just women, but women of color to come together in support of one another, encouraging, motivating, and praying together networking and sharing ideas. And a lot of this, again, that very much had an impact on you
Yes.
becoming a part of the organization.
Yes.
And the one up starting out with, and here's what's incredible, and I think I remember the first time I had a chance to interview and talk with Jackie really about Black Women Empowered. It started with a small group of women, I think around a couple of hundred, and now to see that, especially through your Facebook page, has grown to over 1,700
Yes.
in just a little over a year. So how much has changed and how much has grown from March of 2012 to where we are now to talk about it here on Community Focus?
It has grown by leaps and bounds. The main page is a source of inspiration. We as women tend to go through a lot. And if you just need a word of encouragement, a good morning, a smile, an uplift, something that is going to help you get through a difficult moment in your day, visit that main page all day long. There are continual posts of things that will help strengthen you no matter what your day is looking like.
And that's so important. I think that really helps to get a person through the day. You know, once you can get that day started, especially if you get it started on a good note, it really can carry you through the course of your day. And again, with all of the different services that Black Women Empowered provide, including the ongoing and the second annual food drive, Princess, I do want to share that if you want or need more information, you need additional details outside of what we're sharing with you here on Community Focus, there are a couple of numbers that listeners here on Community Focus family, you can call, one being 336-517-5800 or 336-772-5077. Princess, also want to add that there is actually a physical location
Yes.
for Black Women Empowered Safe Haven, and it's right here in Greensboro.
It is. That location is 415 Pisgah Church Road, Box 124 here in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Excellent. So in addition to visiting daily on the Facebook page, why not, as a step further, make a trip to the address and see Black Women Empowered in person?
Right.
Absolutely. When you have an opportunity, whether it's through the annual food drive or it's through a domestic violence workshop or a women's self-defense class, Princess, what is it like for you personally to be able to reach out and to talk and to communicate and really just have that one-on-one personal time with women throughout our communities?
A lot of times they say that women like us cannot get together and be unified and full of purpose, but Black Women Empowered has diffused that myth. When we get together, you feel love, you feel unity. There's a lot of women who have similar circumstances, and we begin to bounce off each other's strength. We literally become sisters and family, and for me, that is one of the most wonderful feelings ever.
And I really appreciate, and I talked with Jacqueline about this in the past, because one thing that really stood out for me was the name of the organization. And I don't think, if I remember correctly, it took Jacqueline very long to come up with the name Black Women Empowered. It's so fitting for what the organization does and what it does year-round and the different ways with which you do give back to the community, because there's so many of us who have different needs, whatever our particular situations or circumstances. A lot of times there aren't agencies that can address all of those needs, but it seems like through Black Women Empowered, you do a little bit of everything. Again,
That's
something
our goal.
for everybody.
That is our goal for Black Women Empowered, to be one-stop shopping for the woman. No matter what the color of your skin, you are welcome, and we have business opportunities and services for the entire spectrum of women.
And let us also say, too, Princess, that as this community focus is geared toward women, we don't want to exclude any of our men who are listening, because we know there are husbands, there are fathers, there are uncles, there are men who have that special woman or women in their lives. And just to encourage the guys that are tuning in, take this great information and pass it along.
That's
whether
correct.
it's your wife or your girlfriend or your sister or an aunt, a woman who has made an impact in your life, who has made a difference in your life. What a great opportunity to introduce them to Black Women Empowered, because we may have a gentleman who's listening that is saying, you know what, Renee, you know what, Princess, I know of someone that can benefit from being a part of this, because perhaps there is someone else who does poetry, who's good at writing or expressing herself in a different way. So what a great opportunity to just take this information and share it with those special women in their lives.
That is correct. I encourage them to tell the women in their lives to visit our website, which is blackwomenempowered.org.
Absolutely. And again, family, to thank you for what you do, not just by tuning in to Community Focus, but you take the information and you're proactive about it. And with that said, Princess, again, we thank all of those, even those who have already made a donation to the second annual food drive. Spread the word. Tell your coworkers, tell your friends, tell other family members. There's nothing quite like giving. And there's more happiness in giving, Princess, than there is in receiving. So what a great lesson, especially for parents, to instill in their children.
It is.
To instill in younger individuals, and especially the joy that comes with being able to help our fellow members of our community.
Amazing.
It is. And just amazing that Black Women Empowered, again, in just the short time of its existence, how, as you said, continues to grow by leaps and bounds. Now, when you're not with Black Women Empowered, are you out in the community doing other things? I mean, you are the princess of poetry. So to have a chance to really to speak to members of the community.
Yes, I am. I am an artist, and I do represent Black Women Empowered throughout the community, but I also have my own poetry show, which is held every fourth Friday at Churchill's.
Very good. And to just have you here on Community Focus, thank you so much for that, Princess, and taking time out of your schedule, and just to thank you for what it is that you do, and for all the members of Black Women Empowered. By the way, I wanted to also say thank you very much, because you emailed me a wonderful picture of the group.
Mm-hmm.
And to see all of those beautiful women, and I think you had one gentleman in that photo, so I wanted to recognize him and give him kudos. But overall, what the nonprofit organization is doing, going out in the community, again, the highlights of some of the programs that you had offered, and mentioning earlier on the show that this is just the beginning of what's likely to be an expansion of some of the services that you'll be able to provide through BWE.
It is. This is just the baby steps to a huge movement. The vision that Miss Jackie has is phenomenal. Yeah. And every day there's something new added. There is something else that we realize that women need, and Black Women Empowered's purpose is to make sure that they are full service.
Absolutely. And speaking of that full service, again, the second annual food drive, and I just wanted to, Princess, reiterate that you are teaming up with another great organization, another nonprofit, the Servant Center, again at 1312 Lexington Avenue in Greensboro. We just want to reemphasize, if you didn't have a chance to catch us for the first half of the show, family, some of the drop-off locations and the food items that are needed, the personal care items. And again, we want to emphasize that for every dollar donated, the Servant Center can provide hot meals for members of our communities. But again, Princess, beginning with the Sweet Shop, 631 South Elm Street, Suite A in Greensboro. Ask for Miss Elaine. And some of the food items that are needed are canned vegetables, fruit, meats, tuna, and soup. The personal care items for women that are needed include soap, deodorant, shampoo, and tissue. And that's the same for Excellent Styles. They're at 2832 Randleman Road in Greensboro. Miss Sonia Wiley is the contact person you want to reach out to there. If you'd like to make a donation, you can do so as well with Forgiving Life Ministries at 2410 South Elm Eugene Street, and their hours are 5 to 6:30 p.m. and that's Monday. Thursday it's 5:30 to 7 a.m., 6 to 9 p.m. Saturday noon to 3 p.m. and Sunday noon to 4. And you can ask for Pastor Pia. And they are looking for donations of boxed meals and hot and cold cereal. And then we have TIJ and East Isle Barbershop, 2607 D. Randleman Road. Mr. Ron Baldwin is the gentleman you want to ask for. And they're taking donations Tuesday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Friday and Saturday from 6 until 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And some of the items, again, needed: canned vegetables, fruit, meats, tuna, soup, hot meals, hot and cold cereal, and personal care items, as we just mentioned: soap, deodorant, shampoo, and tissue. Well, Princess, I really appreciate it. Your first visit here on Community Focus, and hopefully not your last. Now that you are officially a member of the QF family, please come back.
I will. I
Absolutely.
definitely will.
I'd like to ask for any closing thoughts or comments, perhaps something that we didn't touch on earlier that you would like to make mention, or just to really re-emphasize the importance of the second annual food drive.
Our community is suffering an economic crisis, and there are many veterans and families that are being affected. I just ask everyone in the community, go by the dollar store, pick up a few items that are non-perishable. Based on what we've talked about today, go by a drop location. You never know, that one small act will go a long ways. Someone who is hungry will be fed, and you will have the satisfaction of knowing that you assisted the community and someone just like yourself, because we never know when hard times are going to hit. And just continue to support BWE and the mission and vision of our CEO and President, Ms. Jacqueline King, and hopefully we will see you ladies friending us on Facebook.
Thank you very much, Princess. Really appreciate your company this morning
Thank
on
you.
Community Focus. You're very welcome, my dear. And again, for more details, you can contact Black Women Empowered either at 336-517-5800 or 336-772-5077. And family, I even encourage you to visit BWE Safe Haven in person. You will be greeted by some of the most beautiful and smiling women in our community. And the physical location, once again, is 415 Pisgah Church Road in Greensboro. We also encourage you as well to continue to visit blackwomenempowered.org. That's where, Princess, they can also get additional information about the annual food drive as well.
Yes.
Excellent. And to remind you one final time, family, before we wrap up the weekend edition of Community Focus, that the second annual BWE Safe Haven Food Drive continues through the end of the month of February. Well, will you give Jacqueline a big hug for me?
I certainly will.
And to all of the ladies and of the organization of BWE, you did a fine job, Princess. They're really proud of you.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. And family, thank you. Many of you, like Princess and like Jacqueline King and members of Black Women Empowered, continue to do some really good things in our community. We appreciate your input and sharing with us here at 97.1 QMG, along with our sister station 1510 Big Wheel Gospel, about other events in our community. So this programming note that you can continue to share with us and let us know about other great events taking place. Please continue to visit on the World Wide Web at WQMG.com. For Princess, Jacqueline King, Black Women Empowered, thank you for joining me, Renee Vaughn, on the weekend edition of Community Focus. As always, family, I appreciate your company. And thank you again for listening here on 97.1 QMG, along with our sister station, which is 1510 Big Wheel Gospel.